Somewhere in a desert right now, a convoy is moving. Not quietly, not slowly, and nothing on that road is going to stop it. Because the vehicles leading that convoy were not built by a car company. They were not designed for roads, for comfort, or for speed limits. They were engineered, over 80 years, for one single purpose: to bring soldiers home alive. This is Oshkosh Defense, and these are the most extraordinary military trucks ever put on wheels. Since 1945, Oshkosh Defense has been providing the military with combat-ready technology, vehicles, and mobility systems built to withstand any environment or mission. That is not a marketing claim. That is 8 decades of engineering tested in real deserts, real mountains, real war zones, on every continent on Earth. In that time, Oshkosh has delivered and sustained more than 190,000 tactical wheeled vehicles to customers in more than 20 countries. 190,000 vehicles. Nations trust their soldiers' lives to these machines every single day. Oshkosh Defense holds a 90% stronghold on the tactical wheeled vehicle market, a dominance so complete, so consistently earned, that the question is no longer whether Oshkosh builds the best military trucks on the planet. The question is, which one is the most insane? Let us find out. The JLTV, the vehicle that retired a legend. For 40 years, the Humvee was the face of American military power. Rugged, iconic, everywhere. It won the Gulf War. It patrolled Bosnia. It carried troops through Fallujah. And then improvised explosive devices changed everything. The JLTV was developed to bridge the gap between traditional Humvees and MRAPs, offering advanced suspension, scalable armor, and modern battlefield readiness in a single platform. The engineering heart of this machine is Oshkosh's patented HEMTT A4 intelligent, independent suspension system. Each wheel responds individually to the terrain in real time, meaning this vehicle can absorb obstacles that would stop anything else. Boulders, ditches, washed-out roads. The JLTV does not slow down. It delivers 70% faster off-road performance than its predecessors, with 20 inches of wheel travel, more than most civilian off-road vehicles on the market today. And it goes anywhere. Literally anywhere. The JLTV can be transported by CH-47 and CH-53 helicopters, C-130, C-5, C-17 and A-400 cargo aircraft, and is also amphibious transportable. Drop it from a helicopter, float it across a river, drive it into battle, it arrives ready. Since 2015, Oshkosh Defense has provided more than 22,000 JLTVs to the United States military and allied foreign governments, with end users in Lithuania, Slovenia, Belgium, Slovakia, Brazil, Israel, and the Netherlands. 22,000 vehicles, each one carrying real soldiers through real danger, each one built to bring them back. A grateful father and master sergeant in the U.S. Air Force put it simply after his son survived a live fire training incident inside a JLTV. All their issued and personal items are replaceable, he wrote to Oshkosh. But their lives and health are not. That is what this truck is built for. The M-ATV, the truck that rewrote survival statistics. Mine-resistant, ambush-protected. Those 3 words represent one of the most important engineering decisions in modern military history. When a bomb detonates beneath a conventional vehicle, the blast travels straight up through the floor, into the crew. The results are catastrophic. Oshkosh Defense's MRAP vehicles are made for wide area security and brigade combat teams, providing the protection and versatility needed for security, decisive actions, and countering threats. The geometry of the M-ATV's hull is the key. The V-shape splits the blast wave outward, away from the crew compartment, rather than channeling it upward. Patented blast-protected seats absorb residual shock. Automatic fire suppression activates instantly. The crew is isolated from the explosion by layers of engineering built specifically around their survival. This vehicle was not designed for roads. It was designed for the worst moment any soldier will ever face, and it was designed to make sure they walk away from it. Oshkosh Defense continues to provide continuous and worldwide support to extend the lifespan of the military's tactical wheeled vehicle fleet, meaning these machines keep serving long after delivery. The M-ATV does not just save lives once, it saves lives for decades. The HEMTT A4, 8 wheels, 500 horsepower. A beast that feeds armies. Wars are not won by firepower alone. They are won by logistics. The ability to move fuel, ammunition, food, and equipment to the right place at the right moment, faster than the enemy can anticipate. The HEMTT, Heavy Expanded Mobility Tactical Truck, is the machine that makes that possible. Equipped with a robust 500 horsepower Caterpillar C15 engine, the HEMTT A4 effortlessly navigates even the most challenging terrains, ensuring seamless and efficient operations. 500 horsepower. In a military truck, that is not raw power for its own sake. That is raw power engineered to haul enormous loads through conditions that would stop a conventional vehicle cold. The HEMTT A4 load handling system can transport an 11-ton payload along with an 11-ton payload trailer. That is 22 tons of ammunition, fuel, or equipment moved by a single crew in a single trip. Through terrain no civilian logistics vehicle could touch. Operators can load and unload cargo from the armored cab without the need for additional material handling equipment, meaning a small crew can move a small mountain of supplies without waiting for a forklift, a crane, or backup. In forward combat zones, that independence is not a convenience. It is a tactical advantage. The HEMTT A4 comes in 8 variants: cargo truck, fuel tanker, ammunition resupply, wrecker recovery, guided missile transporter, Patriot tractor, each one a specialist, each one sharing the same legendary Oshkosh drivetrain. A U.S. Army Staff Sergeant whose HEMTT struck an eye wrote simply, "Me and my crew of 3 other soldiers walked away without a scratch." That is engineering that earns its place in history. The HEMTT A2, the medium tactical vehicle that goes everywhere armies go. Every military force needs a workhorse. A vehicle that is not the most glamorous machine on the battlefield, but is the one that shows up every time in every environment without fail. Oshkosh's medium tactical vehicles have the power, versatility, mobility, and performance military personnel rely on to keep them safe, ready for any environment or circumstance. The HEMTT A2 family of medium tactical vehicles is that workhorse. It carries troops, it transports supplies, it tows artillery, it moves through mud, sand, snow, and jungle with the same reliable competence. What makes the A2 generation different from its predecessors is what sits inside the cab. Drive-by-wire technology replaces traditional mechanical linkages with electronic precision, giving drivers more control, more feedback, and greater responsiveness in demanding conditions. Condition-based maintenance systems monitor the vehicle's health in real time, predicting failures before they happen, and reducing the logistical burden of keeping a fleet operational in the field. It is not the vehicle that gets the headlines. It is the vehicle that keeps armies moving when everything else is going wrong. The MTVR, the truck the Marines refuse to leave home without. The United States Marine Corps does not compromise. They operate in the most demanding environments military forces ever face. Beach landings, jungle operations, Arctic conditions, mountain assaults. Oshkosh Defense's tactical wheeled vehicles are relied on in combat support, tactical and relief missions across the full spectrum of military operations. The MTVR, Medium Tactical Vehicle Replacement, was built specifically to meet the Marine Corps' requirements. It shares Oshkosh's legendary TAC-4 suspension Dina, each wheel responding independently, absorbing terrain that would destroy a conventional truck's axle. Its off-road capability is not just theoretical. The MTVR has been deployed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and every major Marine operation of the past 2 decades. It has crossed rivers. It has climbed mountains. It has moved through sand so deep it swallowed lesser vehicles whole. And it kept moving. The HEMTT, the vehicle built to carry the heaviest thing America has. The M1 Abrams is the most powerful battle tank in the world. 73 tons of American engineering, armor, and firepower, moving it from point A to point B without destroying roads, burning fuel, or wearing out track systems before battle, requires something extraordinary. Oshkosh's heavy tactical vehicles are designed for cross-country military missions, transporting ammunition, petroleum, oils, lubricants, and more, designed to assist with unit resupply and other modern military missions. The HEMTT, Heavy Equipment Transporter, is the machine that moves tanks. Purpose-built for the task of carrying the heaviest combat equipment the U.S. Army fields, across distances, across terrain, across every logistical challenge a commander can imagine. When you see an Abrams arriving at the front line fresh and ready for battle, not worn, not fuel depleted, not mechanically stressed from hundreds of miles of track movement, it arrived there on the back of a HEMTT, the most powerful tank on Earth. Delivered by an Oshkosh. The P-19R, the fire truck that saves military aircraft, and the pilots inside them. When a military aircraft makes an emergency landing or doesn't make it cleanly, every second matters. Oshkosh's aircraft rescue firefighting vehicle is ready for on- and off-road environments, with payload capacity to carry 1,000 gallons of water, 130 gallons of foam agent, and 500 pounds of halotron auxiliary firefighting agent. 1,000 gallons of water, 130 gallons of foam, 500 pounds of halotron, all on a vehicle that can accelerate from standstill to runway speed in seconds, and then transition instantly to off-road terrain if the aircraft has gone past the runway edge. The P-19R is not a war machine in the traditional sense. It does not carry weapons. It does not protect troops from IEDs. It protects the pilots who fly the missions that protect everyone else. And it does it with the same Oshkosh engineering philosophy that runs through every vehicle on this list, built to perform when failure is not an option. The JLTV, the future of military mobility, and it is already here. Every vehicle we have covered today runs on the engineering of the present. Powerful, proven, extraordinary. But Oshkosh Defense is already building the next generation. The hybrid electric JLTV variant represents Oshkosh's commitment to electrification, purpose-built platforms that embrace the advancements of tomorrow and propel tactical wheeled vehicles into the future. The electric JLTV moves in silence, no engine noise, no exhaust heat signature for thermal cameras to detect, no combustion signature for the sensors that define modern battlefield detection. In a world where the enemy uses thermal imaging, acoustic sensors, and electronic surveillance to identify targets, silence is armor. Invisibility is protection. Oshkosh Defense is driven to design purpose-built platforms that embrace the advancements of tomorrow, and the JLTV is the clearest proof that 80 years of military vehicle experience is being applied directly to the future of warfare. The wheel has been humanity's greatest invention for 10,000 years. Oshkosh Defense is still finding new ways to make it extraordinary. 8 vehicles. 1 company. 8 decades of a single promise. Enabling those who dedicate their lives to service, to accomplish their mission, and return home safely. That is not an advertising slogan. It is the engineering brief for every vehicle Oshkosh Defense has ever built. Every patent, every suspension system, every blast-protected seat, every volt in the electric drivetrain. The Humvee served a generation. The JLTV will serve the next. The HEMTT has fed armies across 8 decades of conflict. The JLTV will move through the battlefields of tomorrow in silence. From the streets of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, to deserts, jungles, mountains, and oceans on every continent on Earth, these machines carry the weight of nations on their wheels. And they have never let a nation down. Don't forget to subscribe to Vehicles Wow for more cinematic deep dives into the machines shaping the future of engineering, one revolution at a time.